Welcome to Invisible World, a place where you can learn to see auras. Hi, my name is Gabriel Hudson Bay, and I'm an author, teacher, and leading expert in my field. And that has to do with auras and helping people learn to see them. I started my journey with auras in 1974. And I studied for 6 years and went professional in 1980 in Los Angeles. Since then, I've been helping people learn to see auras, as well as giving lots and lots of hundreds of sessions with people on reading their aura. Over the next few minutes hopefully, I'm going to cover all the areas that I am aware of auras and how I've learned to see them, and how I've dedicated to focusing my ability to see the invisible world strictly on auras. And what I found in my early studies, yes, I saw a lot of different dimensions and ranges of the aura, and how those other dimensions affected the physical aura and the physical body. But after all my study, I went into Los Angeles, and it was my job in the shortest amount of time, 8 to 10 minutes, to be able to see someone's aura and read it correctly with what was going on in their lives. Those people came to, it was a psychic fair, so they came to learn about matters of, love and health and wealth and family and changes, and that's what they were looking for. They weren't so much considered. They weren't really looking for the spiritual outlook as much as concentrating on what was happening in their lives. So I had to restrict it and focus all of my attention on that area, and that's what I did, and that's what I have continued to do. And when you start out learning to be a psychic, practicing your art, building your talent, it's important that we pick an area that we're going to focus in on, and create an intention about that focus. So that's what I did. I wanted to see what was going on with someone in their lives, and the best path that they could take for that, what they may be blocking, what they may be not paying attention to, people and situations in their lives that could be beneficial or slow them down. So that's where my focus went, and that's my attention. It's still my attention to see how a person in their lives can benefit themselves to the very best possible path they can find, and the things that will help benefit them to get them where they truly want to go. So when I look at someone, it's like what I want to do is I want to communicate with that higher mind that they have, that part of them that's guiding them, that's truly wanting to push them in a direction for them to accomplish what they want to accomplish in this lifetime. So when I look, I'm going to concentrate on 4 levels of the aura. The things that are in the physical world, the physical body, the emotions, the thoughts, and their day-to-day experience, and what their overall guidance is giving them. Their higher self, their spiritual self, their higher mind is wanting to give to them to help them in this incident. There's no coincidences. I think we go see someone at the right time, and the information that comes through is the right information for the person at that time. So yes, I'll see spirit guides, and I'll see angels and things to help these people spiritually, to give them the love and resolve they need, and the compassion and understanding. And even people who've departed that have in their lives that have come back around to talk to her. But that's on the outside of where I'm really concentrating my look. So when I look at you, I'm going to look right above your head, and I'm just going to, the first thing that pops in is the concentration point. The foundation that I gathered in 1974 was the way that light works in this physical dimension, and how it moves according to the magnetic energies of the planet, of Earth here. So anything from the equator to the North Pole moves from left to right. Okay, I'll do this left to right, so it makes it easier on the screen because I'm going differently here. So energy's coming in from the left, and it's our future and what we've projected into and what we've been working at from our past into the present and what we're projecting into the future. So I'll look at that energy and I'll talk to it. Now, as the energy moves in, it moves in from the left, it centers here and then moves out to the right. So left to right. Future, present, and to the right is what I'm holding on to and letting go of. That's my past. And I'll know how all these things flow to make the present what it is right now. So when I look above your head, I'm seeing the present energy around you right now and how you're, working with that energy and how that energy affects all these power centers that we have. And these all influence our projections and our desires and how we feel about life. All of these centers right here are creating that in the physical reality around us right now. Now there's seven power centers. So there's all these centers are in each of these four levels that I talk about. They influence the physical world, the emotions that we have, our thoughts, and our overall guidance. These centers right here do that. Now, if we want to go deeper, you'll find depth in each one of these centers that will connect you more to the spiritual world or your spiritual guidance. But that's not what I focus on. I'm aware of that. So there's 7 levels within each of these 4 levels. And it goes deeper than that. 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. It just continues to unfold. Early aura readers, they saw lots of bands around people, multiple bands. And these multiple bands concentrated more on the healing, on the physical body, on what was wrong with them at that time. And that's how these readers saw that. That's their scope. And each set of people coming up have built themselves on the backs of what was done. So there's been higher development at each step. So what the development has done, it's given me all the foundation I need for how people have read. And now I've taken that and I've made it into my own. And I teach people. And their focus, their range, their talent is going to be better than mine if they've done all the work. And I expect that. So when I talk about auras, it doesn't mean that I don't know about all the realms, all the dimensions and realms out there. I do. I know how to see angels. I know how to see the departed. I know how to communicate with them. And what this also gives me the ability to do is, now that I've opened up this center right here, this third eye that allows me to visualize, eternally visualize, I can start to break things down because I'm aware of the physical makeup of the planet and all the light particles and the speed that they work. And there's a little off dimension on the fringes that holds what I call the invisible world. That's the auras around trees and plants and all the nature spirits that work with them and all the animals. So I can be aware of lots of things around me, but when I read for someone, and what I like to teach is how to focus in on a person's energy. It's actually harder to do that because you've got to work it yourself. You've got to separate, things about yourself to look. It was easier for me to see spirits and the auras of trees and animals in other dimensions than it was for me to focus on the aura of a person. Fortunately for me, I got to learn all that other stuff before I sat down and read for someone. And I studied physics and metaphysics, and a lot of esoteric, ton of spirituality, writings from all over the world, and a little bit of psychology. And that was included with a shamanistic viewpoint of what was going on. So those things I studied while encompassing all the other aspects of the invisible world as I worked to read a person. So all that stuff could be included as I worked to read for someone. So now there's consciousness embedded in every particle of light. And we are light. This is all particles of light speeding at a specific range of speed to make up this physical reality. I was told by my first teacher that everything that we have in the physical reality vibrates between 300,000 angstrom units per second to 400,000 angstrom units per second. That's why it's called the third dimension, because of the speed of the light particles. Now, human beings, I was told, start about 365, and they work their way up to 400,000 per second. How they gather that speed is how open they are to the world around them. Now, open means that you're aware of the life around you. You're aware of every living creature. That animal, that bird, that reptile all have a meaning and a substance, and we're all connected to it. So we're in this energy field of speeding particles between this range and this range, and everything in it we're a part of. We can identify with each. Native Americans learned to identify with the world around them, with the animals and the birds and the reptiles and the seasons, the weather. That gave them a greater consciousness than someone who just thought about going to work and really nothing but work and food and survival. As we open up more, and that's what this New Age is all about, is opening up our awareness to life around us and how we treat life around us and how we treat everything in our life, being more impeccable, more open to that energy. We raise our vibrations. We speed up more. That allows us to open up. Okay, when I say open up, what I'm talking about is we're allowing ourselves to take in more light. And the more light we take on, the faster we speed. Okay? Light creates an expansion. It speeds things up. Brings things out in the open. It's an expansion of energy. Dark energy contracts, magnetizes it, makes that substance that starts even bigger. Energy has a natural propensity to gather with its own kind. So if you're in a bad mood and you're creating this around you, you're going to attract more of that to you. If you're angry, you're going to find angry people. If you're depressed, you're going to find depressed people, or you're going to have that desire to have that depression around you more because of the energy. It's not like there's somebody up there judging you and throwing things on you. It's your own way of thinking and your own way of expressing that creates what happens to you by the light that you're generating right now. And all the things that we learned in the 60s and 70s, what goes around comes around, all those things were almost an unconscious thing, an unconscious phrase to what's really, truly taking place in the metaphysical universe we live in. The universe is based more on mathematics than anything else, and it's the desires that we have to work within this mathematical universe that helps us create who we are. We are creators because we think and we feel, so we create. We are creators. We put out anger, it goes out and it comes back. Love goes out and comes back. The more we have of each creates who we are. So that's me, and that's what I work at. And I want to introduce you to my talent and how I use my talent, and why that talent is important to be used by a ton of people. Because what the talent does for you is it helps you open up to the greater possibilities of what's going on. Many people think that they're from other planets, and they're wondering why. They have an idea that they're from some other place besides here. And there's this great need to understand that within us. If I am from someplace else, what am I doing here? And I don't really get that answer until I really embody this idea. As I embody the idea more, like for me, it was a harsh place, and I wanted to split. Good, I know where I'm at now. I know I'm coming from someplace out there. I want to go back. I don't like it here. The reason we're here now is so that we can bring about a new light on the planet, so that we can help this planet, this living being, raise her energy to go along with the universe. We want to keep this planet intact, and we want to do our best to bring it into balance so that it can move with the rest of our system and the rest of our galaxy and the rest of the universe. So our job here is to help bring this light, this wave of energy that's coming in, bring it into a solid form. And we do that by best embodying our humanness. We're human beings, so let's embody that. Let's do the work and the integrity, the things that we need to do to make ourselves more open to considering this planet as a human being or as a living being, and help it move forward. It's not to come and talk about the Space Brothers or I'm from here or I'm from there and aren't I cool. It's to embody our human form and do our job here on this planet. Okay, so that's who I am. That's what I do, and I wanted to share this with you. And thanks for I'm really cold out here, so I'm dealing with this cold. And I'm shaking. It's time to end this video, and I hope it went well for you. And I'm just going to stop right here. And I have more videos that you can tune into. It's invisibleworld.com. INVISABLE world. And I spelled it that way so that you are able, the word able is in the middle of invisible world, so that you can, by coming to my site and viewing the videos and reading my books, you'll be able to experience what I experience. Okay, thanks for listening, and let's stay in touch.